Hi everyone. Oh. Hello guys. How are you all doing? Yeah, I hope everything's going great in your corner of the world, in your household at the moment. I've got my little book of quotes here right now. I'm going to kind of like get into things straight away because I ranted a lot on my last video. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of reading, which is something I like avoid sometimes because I'm just like, for all the meditation in the world, I've still got the attention span of a fly, I swear to God. But I was just thinking, you know, for this practice, I saw this little quote that's kind of, it reminds me of this idea of, you know, impermanence, which I've talked about before, and suffering. You know, there's quite a lot of suffering happening in the world right now, and I found this quote in the book I Am That, which is something I've got to read for my Budokon training, and it said, "Must one suffer for one's own sins? Are we really separate?" And then continues to say, "While life lasts, we deeply affect one another." And it was just, you know, a little reminder of not only the impermanence of suffering for me, but also the interconnectivity of the world. Like, I always remember being at this Buddhist retreat, and the teacher said, you know, true compassion is when you look at someone else's suffering and you're like, that's mine as well. So given everything that's happening in the moment, we're all in it together, you know, and you can see that we're all quarantined together, we're all kind of suffering together, whether you're ill or not, and it's a moment to kind of feel that connection between us all, and it's also a moment to kind of nod towards the idea of this won't last, it's okay, and what lessons can we take from it, you know, what's the kind of nectar of the lessons that we can learn in these moments. So yeah, let's get down to it. So today I'm going to be doing something that's more mobility and kind of strength focused. I'm going to bring in a little bit of the Budokon type mobility stuff. You might feel like a little bit of like a sprinkle of almost Pilates-esque moments in there. You'll feel the kinds of yoga asana moments as well. And it's really lower body based. I'm going to do an upper body one as well, but this is really like good for glute, deep hip movement, you know, like just in this region of the pelvis we've got like 26 muscles, and quite a lot of us have pretty lazy bums from very sedentary lifestyles and stuff, so we're going to work with strengthening and engaging the back line of the body, lubricating, moisturizing into the hip joints, because they're these ball and socket joints. So your hips, they've got 6 degrees of motion, so we'll get into them. And yeah, you're going to need definitely 2 blocks or something that substitutes blocks, because we'll be moving into the dreaded pistol squat. I love them and I hate them. I'm going to give you different progressions up to them. And then if you really want to add some fire into the beginning of the practice, if you have a resistance band, preferably a small one, when we do these kind of more glute bridges at the start, you can put the resistance band over the bottom of your legs. I hope you like my socks. These are my Yeti socks. I'm actually going to probably keep them on for the beginning of the practice, because when we do the mobility work, we slide our feet on the floor, and I was doing it before and my toes just like clunk on the slats of wood on this floor, so it doesn't sound good. Also, I'll send you another playlist. Play it now. Go. So we're going to do breathing at the end of this practice pretty much. Just do a few breaths now. So come to lie on your back. And let's just begin in constructive rest. Oh, let me turn another light on for a moment, actually. almost constructive rest shape. So feet are almost as wide as the mat. Let your knees knock in towards one another. And then just rest the arms wherever they want to rest. Soften the shoulders, just let them kind of melt down the back. Let the spine be heavy. Just let the natural, see if you can feel the natural curvature of the spine as you lie down. You know, if you might feel the kind of small gap in the lumbar spine, you might feel the mid-spine pressing down, you might feel the gap underneath the neck. Just take a note of the shape of your body. Maybe you notice any sensations around the pelvis, around the hips at the moment. And this shape that you're in has a slight internal rotation of the thigh bones. And generally this is quite a good posture for your pelvis to be in, for it to actually come into a state of rest. In yoga, we often lie with our feet together and our knees apart in that butterfly shape. But according to some teachers, I haven't done the research into this myself, your body can't actually really rest and melt in that shape. This shape with the internal rotation is preferable for that parasympathetic moment that we all need. So as you lie here, just take a moment to take a few breaths. With every round of breath, drawing the inhale right down into the belly, starting to engage the diaphragm, awakening all of the aspects of your body that you use in order to breathe. Feeling diaphragm, even maybe taking note of the pelvic floor. Maybe you notice the intercostal muscles as they get stretched when you inhale. Maybe you notice the weight of your body as you exhale and you experience almost a sense of grounding, of gravity. Invite yourself to sigh if you want to, yawn. Feel free to even have a stretch if that feels appropriate. Just a sense of kind of coming in, saying hello, greeting yourself, meeting each moment as fleeting as it is, meeting each sensation as fleeting as those are as well. And taking one more breath in through the nose. Exhale out of your mouth. And then softly open your eyes. Heel toe your feet to about hip width apart. Your heels are quite close towards your glutes. If you've got the resistance band, place it around your thighs but closer towards the knee. Make sure that you've got one of your blocks close by and ready to be used shortly. Then from here, we're going to come into quite a low bridge. So usually when we hear bridge pose, we're like, ooh, back bends. This time, we're thinking more of squeezing the glutes. So before we even lift up, that space that you've got underneath your lumbar spine, can you now press your lumbar spine down into the ground? And then this will roll your pubic bone towards your bottom sternum. It'll contract your core and your glutes will start to fire. So press the lumbar spine down. Then keeping this almost like a scooping sensation in your front body, lift a few inches off the ground. So see how low I am? My pelvis isn't even, I'm not going for the diagonal shape yet. I'm just finding quite a low bridge. My sort of mid ribs are still on the ground. And I'm just going to hold here. I'm going to press slightly outwards into this resistance band. At the same time, there's a squeeze of my inner thighs slightly towards one another, which sounds a little bit opposing, but it's as I press out into the resistance band, it switches on my glute med. If you don't have a resistance band, you'll probably not want to press outwards. You'll probably want to have more of a squeeze into the midline. And just hold in here. Think of, keep on scooping your tailbone under, keep drawing your pubic bone towards your sternum. At the same time with your rib cage, can you almost knit your rib cage together, like the bottom ribs together, and press them down? So much happening. Hold here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up. Grab your block. Place it in between. Snuggle it in between the top of the thighs. So right where your groins are. So if you want to keep the band on, you can keep the band on. In fact, no, I'm going to take the band off. Doesn't work for me. So this time, band is off. Squeeze onto this block and lift up again. This time you're coming into a bit more of a higher bridge, but I can still see my hips and my knees. So I'm in more of a diagonal line. I'm still rolling my pubic bone towards my face and I'm squeezing onto this block. Then from here, you can either reach your arms up and protract your shoulders. So see where my shoulder blades lift off the ground, or the shoulder heads lift off the ground. You can be here. This is a bit harder. And we're going to lift onto the balls of the feet, then lower the heels. Lift, lower, lift, lower. We'll keep going for a little while. Notice if you start to dip your bum down as you lower, keep all of this engagement. Keep flexing your abdomen here. So the bum is firing. I'm starting to feel this in my hamstrings. And notice the difference between each foot as you lift and lower. Does one ankle sickle slightly to the side? Does one foot lift easier? Does one foot lower easier? The difference might be really subtle, but just notice it and don't worry about it. It can just show maybe the one leg slightly stronger than the other. Keep doing a few more of these lifts for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. Lifting high up onto the balls of the feet. Squeezing everything, squeezing the glutes. Rolling pubic bone towards sternum. Holding onto the block for 3, 2, 1. Relax. Keep the block there for a moment. We're not done. If your S is on fire, it's good. And remember, that didn't last forever. Neither will the next exercise. So coming into a bridge once more. Again, set yourself up. Press the lumbar spine down into the ground. Squeeze the glutes. Like you're trying to get your bottom ribs to knit together and then meet the pubic bone. Good. Squeeze onto the block. Shuffle your left foot into the center of the mat. Extend the right foot, or you can keep the right knee bent slightly. We're going to just do some slight dips and lifts just on the left leg. Notice what happens with your right hip here. Mine wants to hitch up towards my shoulder, and it also wants to dip down lower than the left hip. So try and keep your pelvis neutral, lengthening the right side of the body. If you want to, you can. I like to keep my finger points on my hips just so I can see what's happening. So again, without letting the ribs flare, pulsing through the left glute for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right foot down in the center. Extend the left leg, squeeze onto the block. Again, notice if the left side body is contracting or the left hip is lowered. And again, we start to pulse, little baby pulses on the right leg. Notice what's going on with your rib cage. We love to flare. We all love to flare. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're still with me, thank you. I promise I'm not trying to torture you guys. All right, relax. Take a moment. And then roll your way up into a seated shape. And what we're going to do here, in fact, I'm going to come a little bit further back so I can make sure you guys see me. You tend to travel a little bit with what we're going to do. We're going to come into what is called an S seat in Budokon. So think of it as, it kind of makes a letter S. So you're sitting down, I've got my right knee bent, my right heel is kind of snuggling towards my right outer hip, and then my left shin is more or less parallel with the front of my body. Left sole of the foot connects with the top of the right thigh. So it kind of makes a bit of an S shape, and hopefully you guys can see that it would look like that, but on the ground. And so all we're going to do here is go from S seat to S seat, like this. So essentially what happens is you're rolling your hips from internal rotation to external rotation. So this one, right is internal, left is external, swap. Now left is internal, right is external. Then, so just do this a few times before we really start to think about what the spine is doing as well. So rolling yourself from S seat to S seat. You're rolling on the heels of the feet and also the outer edge to the inner edge. So I'll take my socks off for a moment so you can see my feet. So I keep them sort of flexed with the toes flexed as well. So I'm rolling, see, from the outer edge, feet plant down as I come through the center, and then they roll onto opposite edges. So they look like this. And don't worry if you kind of lean forward a little bit at the moment. Let's just warm up a bit through the hip joints. And now we're going to begin to incorporate the spine. So we're going to move from more of a spinal extension into flexion, like such. And when you're doing Budokon, you're thinking about kind of guarding your face a little bit because it links into martial arts. Don't worry too much about that, but I like to have my hands around here and I sort of bring thumbs together. So this, I'm facing my left now, my S seat. I'm in a little bit of spinal extension. I'm going to exaggerate it. Then I'm going to start to protract my shoulder blades, flex through my spine as I open my right knee up. So here I'm really rounding through the spine. You can see from the side, rounding. And then as I continue to travel to the right, my left knee comes down into the center. I'm coming back up into a slightly extended spine. So rounding the shoulder blades through the spine, circling through the middle, circling to my left, and coming back into an S seat. So let's do this a few times. Take your time. You can really exaggerate that movement. Find that great big press through the upper back as you come through the center. Find that tall spine as you come back into your S seat. Okay? So now let's add on a little bit. Continuing to work with the hips. So from your S seat, I'm going to go S seat to S seat through the center, bring my spine neutral, and then my left foot is going to draw a semicircle across the floor. Step in front of me. So my right shin is underneath me. I'm going to lift up onto the right shin. So I'm in, this is called a combat base. It's kind of like a kneeling position. And then I'm going to lower back down, round through the spine, semicircle with that left foot, come back to my S seat, round the spine, swap, S seat now, again, to the opposite side. Step my right foot forward, lift up, bum down, back into my S seat facing the left, round the spine. So you can start to join in now. Step the left foot forwards, lunge up, bum down, circle left foot back, or they call it a back step in Budokon. Round your spine, come back to neutral, S seat to the left, draw a semicircle with that right foot, step up and forwards, bring the bum back to your S seat, open up S seat, circle left foot forwards. So you're going to do this is the back step with the left foot, S seat, front step with the right foot, lift up, bum down, back step right foot, S seat, circle, front step left foot, lift, last time, bring your bum down, back step with the left foot, S seat to S seat, front step with the right foot, lift, bring yourself down, and let's just pause in the middle for a moment. So hopefully that made sense for you. Don't worry if you got a little bit lost, you can send me a message or just keep playing the video a couple of times. I'm still learning how to teach this stuff, so I'm still learning the language myself. You know, I'm only human, but I'm doing my best for you guys, so hopefully that turned out okay. So I'm going to give you one more little transition, adding on to that, where we're going to come from an S seat. We're going to do that step and lift up into that combat base or like a lungy type position. Then we're going to tuck the back toes, pivot on the balls of the feet and be in a squat. And we'll just do this super duper slow. So if I start, I'm facing towards my right in an S seat, tall spine. Start to round the spine. As the knees lift up towards the sky, I'm going to circle through the center. S seat now, facing towards the left. My right foot circles in forward steps. Lift up into that lunge. Tuck my left toes. Pivot on the balls of the feet. And now I'm in a squat. I'm going to bring it back down. So my left knee comes back down. Untuck the toes. Send the hips back. Back step the right foot into your S seat. Round the spine as you circle. Take it to an S seat facing to the right. Front step that left foot. Lift up into that lunge. Tuck the right toes. Pivot on the balls of the feet. Squat. Bringing that right knee back down. Untuck the toes. Lower the hips. Spine is tall. Back step the left foot. S seat, bring it into the middle. Okay, we'll do that once more to each side. I'll take it nice and slow, and this time I'm going to face the opposite way so you can see me pivoting towards the squat, and I'll face you in the squat. So, S seat, facing my right. Let's round the spine. S seat to the left. Front step the right foot, lunge up and forwards, tuck the left toes, pivot into a squat. I'm quite active in the squat. Left knee comes back down towards where the right heel is, untuck the left toes, sit the bum back step the right foot, round the spine, S seat now facing to the right. Front step the left foot, lunge up, sit up, tuck the right toes, pivot into your squat here. Bring that right knee back down where it was, untuck the toes, bum down, back step the left foot, back to the middle. Ta-da! So feel free to play that one a couple of times if you want to, or if you're coming with us, bringing yourself into a squat. So I understand that sometimes the squat is a lot for some people, so please sit on a block if you need to for this moment. And you're in your squat. Feet, I don't mind if they turn out quite a bit. I don't mind if they're parallel, whatever feels comfortable for you. Squeeze the bum a little bit here, so we're not sinking into our squat. We're a little bit lifted and active, and we're trying to have a neutral spine, so it's quite lengthened. We're not rounding forwards either. Hands can kind of be wherever you feel at the moment. I'm going to open mine out so you can see what I'm going to do. Working with internal, external rotation of the hips again. So my right knee is going to dip down towards the center of the mat. Don't worry if it only gets towards here. Maybe it comes towards the ground. And then I'm going to pull it back to neutral and then try to pull it away This is the external rotation. Notice I'm keeping my right foot quite active. So I'm going to dip it to the centre and then externally rotate again. Dip it towards the centre. Keep the spine tall. See if you can do this without moving the spine, or the least possible movement in the spine. The least amount of movement possible. So once more. Internally rotating. External this time. Holding the external. See if you can really squeeze that right outer hip. Clench the bum cheeks. For another 3, 2, 1. Take a moment before we do the left side. Recenter yourself. Arms wherever you need them. If you really do struggle with this, bring fingertips down to one side, support yourself. Or if you're sitting on that block, you know, find something that you can use, adapt your practice. It doesn't have to look like mine, and you can always find ways to facilitate certain movements. You know, but make sure that you feel the effort as well. You know, this is more mobility. Squeeze your outer hip as you externally rotate. Take it internal. Take it external. Last one. Dip the left knee into the center. Externally rotate. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to turn to face the front of my mat now. So now let's activate this squat. So lift the thighs. We're going to bring them more or less parallel to the ground. Squeeze the outer hips and reach your arms forwards. Hold here. Imagine that you are pulling your feet apart. You're pressing your outer hips together. Pull the upper thighs apart for 3, 2, 1, and then lift the hips for a moment. Shake the legs, shake the head. This stuff kills me. And then coming back towards and through that active squat. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Lean back. Roll your pubic bone towards your face. Squeeze the bum, let the knees come down. And so knees are about hip width apart. Toes are tucked. Moving just through a few rounds of dancing camel. So after a lot of activation, this might feel quite nice. So you're dancing camel. Hips are on the heels. Catch your left ankle, with your left hand. You're gonna send the hips forwards, squeeze the bum, roll your pubic bone towards your face, and then let the left arm circle overhead. Use the inhale, I think, to open. Then as you exhale, let the hips come to the heels. I like to swoop and circle my right arm, in front of me. Catch right ankle with right hand. Continue that circle with the left hand, and then send the hips forwards. Send the hips back, left arm circles in front of you. Lean the torso forward, that right arm follows, hips open. And so just take a few moments like this. Sort of find your variation of this shape. If you want to untuck the toes as I have, because you know you already have a deeper back bend and more extension in the spine, feel free to go for it. Notice how you incorporate the neck here. How does it feel? Take it once more to the right. And then bring yourself back into the center. If you have the toes untucked, retuck. Slowly lean back, squeeze the bum. As you lean back, lift the knees. Staying on the balls of the feet, can you start to lift into a chair pose? So really try to squeeze the bum here, so the outer hips are wrapping towards one another. Reach the arms up, draw the rib cage down, slight lengthening of the tailbone down. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, lift as high as you can, 1, lower back down. Bring the bum down to the ground with or without your hands. Navasana boat pose. Either shins parallel, maybe you extend the legs. If you're feeling super spicy, honey, reach the arms up. It won't last. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Plant the feet down. This one's quite tricky. With or without your hands, rock back up onto the balls of the feet. And then staying on the balls of the feet, lift back up into that chair pose. High on the balls of the feet. One breath in. Back down, exhale. Heels down, bum down. Inhale. Shins lift. Maybe extending the legs for 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Feet down. Lift it onto the balls of the feet. Now this time rise all the way to stand. See if you can stay on the balls of the feet. Find something steady to look at and maybe slightly look up. Your balance will follow your gaze. Squeeze your ankles in towards one another. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Lengthen up the sides of the waist. Grow as tall as you possibly can. And then lower the heels. I'm like, I've got legs. Alright, fold over the legs just for a moment. Head is heavy. Find that kind of ragdolly flavour. Step to the top of the mat as well if you're not there. I'm going to move mine slightly back. Make sure at this point, before we go into a flow, that your blocks are kind of somewhat accessible, a bit more towards the back of your mat because we're going to travel around the mat. And then come up into standing, working with a few sissy squats. So I don't know why these are called a sissy squat because they are so hard, but they're really good for strengthening basically the quads, but also the back line of your body, because you have to do this kind of matrix style thing in order to get them. So we'll do a few tentative up and down movements in the sissy squat, not going to the full depth. Then we'll go all the way down if it's available to you. Don't worry if it isn't. And then we move from there. I'm just letting you know in case you want to grab any props or anything for these two. So I like to bring my feet about hip width apart. I'm going to rock up onto the balls of the feet. So just play a little bit with that rocking motion, looping it, and then now let's send the hips forwards and squeeze the glutes as we rock. So think of lengthening tailbone down, drawing pubic bone up, and you might even start to slightly bend the knees. So there's this kind of matrixy flavour already. So as you lift onto the balls of the toes, now start to bend the knees, squeeze the glutes, lean back slightly, come back to stand. And if this isn't enough for you, keep with this, keep at this. This is a really good place to be. This will still help you to strengthen and activate the quads and the back line of the body. So I'm hoping you can see what's happening with my front and back line as I do this. Imagine like when you do the limbo, it's kind of like that. So again, let's do 5, going down to that point where you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can get back up, but you will, because you're amazing. So let's rock up onto the balls of the feet, rock up. Think of sending hip bones towards rib cage. You can reach arms forwards and clench your fists, go back, lift back up. We want to lift up in the same plane that we lowered down in. So when you lift back up, we're not going, oh, back up like this. You're lifting up, keeping that diagonal line in the body. Once more, rock up. Squeeze the bum. Roll your pubic bone towards your face. Lifting back up. 3 more. Lifting. Matrix. Ooh. Lower down. Try to keep your inner thighs slightly hugging together as well. Come back up. 2 more. See if you can maybe get an inch lower. This time we're going to go all the way down. Try not to let your knees touch the ground. Take your time. Squeezing everything, and then forward fold, send the hips back and up. Whew. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Take a big inhale. Breathe out. Let everything be heavy. Plant the hands down, step back into your downward facing dog. The joy of downward dog at this moment. And take a moment to feel into this shape. Lift one heel, press the opposite down, lengthening the back of one leg, try the other way. See if you need to do any wiggles or any shimmies. Allow yourself to just explore downward dog in this moment. Let's begin to find a little bit of a flow that will give you that taste of how you can integrate a little bit of mobility into your asana, your yoga practice. So extend your right leg up towards the sky, keep the hips neutral, take a breath in. Exhale, bend the right knee and then draw it through the midline, lifting onto the ball of the left foot. Step the right foot in between the hands and lift up onto your fingertips, lengthen the spine, look towards the top of the mat. Bring the weight into the right foot. Either fingertips stay down, or if you want to make it trickier, hover the fingertips. Left knee squeezes in towards the chest, so you're in a weird squat. Extend, tap the ball of the left foot down, squeeze it in, left knee into the chest. Tap the ball of the left toes down. Inhale, squeeze the knee into the chest. Exhale, tap, ball of the left toes down, squeeze the knee in towards the chest. This time extend the left leg back. Bring the ball of the foot down. Circle your left arm forwards and overhead, right arm follows. Open up into your warrior two. Take a moment here to feel into the legs. We're going to focus much more on the lower half of the warrior two and some transitions rather than where the arms are. Just think shoulders over hips right now and arms parallel to the ground, gazing forwards. Then lift up slightly onto the balls of the feet, not all the way up, just slightly. And pivot, keeping really low in the legs. Swivel your left heel forwards and your right heel away from you. Coming almost towards a warrior two at the back of the mat, but that left toe is going to face out on a diagonal. And then swivel back via goddess to warrior two. So pivot in. The knees are going to follow where the toes are angled to. Pivot in on the balls of the feet. Try and see if you can take this super slow via your goddess, extending the right leg as you face the left toes to the back. Bending the right knee via goddess, extending left leg back towards warrior two. This time go via your goddess, hold in the center. Sink down deep into your goddess pose, slightly lift the heels, lengthen your tailbone down, sink deeper, hold in here for 3, 2, 1, and then continue to pivot on the balls of the feet, extend in your right leg and your left toes face the kind of back left hand corner of the mat. Lunge into that left leg, send your torso forwards and make sure that your back is parallel to the ground. Draw the rib cage down, arms reach out to the sides. If this feels uncomfortable, you can turn your left toes to face in this direction as well. It depends on the angle of the hip. So we're in like a skater. Take a breath in here. Exhale. One more breath in. And breathe out. Bring your right hand down towards the back of the mat. Lift onto the balls of the feet, pivot all the way 180 and step the left foot into the center of the mat. Come onto the outer edge of the right foot. We're in Cleopatra pose here and reach your left arm overhead. Take a breath in, press the ground away with your right hand, lift the hips towards the sky, and then exhale, sink right hip down towards the ground, reach left hand towards the right foot. Inhale, hips lift, arc the body. Exhale as you lower. Try not to sink into the right shoulder. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower. This time, inhale, pivot to face the back of the mat once more. Slightly step the left foot forward. Turn the right toes out like a pyramid pose stance. Make sure that there's space in between the feet and you're not walking on a tightrope. Round the spine, rise all the way up towards standing. Either grab each elbow or take your reverse prayer. Breathe in, look up, and then as you exhale, fold forwards over the left leg. Press your right hip forwards, lift the left hip up, slightly bend into the left knee if you need to, and ground down through the left big toe to lift the arch. See if you can press into the outer blade of the right foot at the same time and engage your quadriceps so your kneecaps lift. Start to look forwards, keep the configuration with your arms, lunge into the left knee, and then that right leg is going to start to float like a warrior three. Internally rotate the right leg, squeeze in the right bum cheek. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Release your arms, reach them up, come to stand. Extend the right foot out in front of you. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down. Grab a hold of your blocks. Pistol squat time. So, let me give you options for pistol squats because these are nasty. So, you've got a couple of different variations. Hardest one, which I'll show you the hardest one first just so you can practice it a couple of times if you know you've got a pistol squat, is we will lift that right leg back up. Arms can reach up, they can reach forwards, sink down into the left leg. You hover that right leg off the ground, press down and lift back up. Oops. Option 2 is you have your blocks. You're gonna essentially bring the right heel down onto the ground in front of you and bend into your left knee. Send the hips back. Blocks are gonna come down onto the ground. Press down onto the blocks and maybe you send hips even further back and you lower a little bit further into that left leg. Try to have as much weight as you can in the left leg so it's working the leg and the glute. This is a variation. Other option as well is to lift the left heel, lower yourself down, use blocks again if you want to. Maybe you hover the right foot just for a millisecond or lower. So you could be here, playing here. Okay. So let's do it together, with or without the blocks. From standing, set yourself up. Reach your arms up together, take a breath in. Either keep them lifted, or as you exhale, find your blocks, set yourself up. If you're coming with me, doing the full variation, lift the right leg. Maybe you start to lift left heel or slowly lower down, with or without the blocks. Press back up wherever you are. We're all meeting here with right leg extended out in front of us. Start to take your right leg out to the right. Internally rotate it so my right toe's dialed down towards the ground. Keep on circling it back. Find that full warrior three variation once more. Hips are neutral. Step the ball of the right foot back. You're in your runner's lunge. Now face into the back of the mat. Flowing on the opposite side. Lean the weight into the left leg. Hands can be up or fingertips can be down. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Take a breath in. Exhale, extend it back. Maybe tap ball of the right toe. Right toe down. Inhale, draw the knee into the chest. Exhale, extend it back. Inhale, take it in. Exhale, back. Last one, take it in. Exhale, back. Ball the heel down. Circle your way open into your warrior two. My legs are literally cooking. I'm like, don't worry, this too shall pass. It's what we talked about at the start, impermanence. My suffering is your suffering is my suffering. No, but it's not a joke. I mean that. All right, warrior two. Make sure you lift slightly onto the balls of the feet. Not all the way in or stilettos, not necessary, just a little bit. just so that we have that control and that ability to pivot right now. I don't really mind what you do with your hands. I kind of like doing this weird dancing thing. So you're going to swivel via goddess. So think of swiveling right heel in as left heel swivels away. Lunge into right knee, extend left leg. Let's take it back via goddess to this warrior two. Via goddess towards this lunge in the opposite way. And then keep doing this for a moment. See if you can do it without lowering the heels. This mat's quite hard because it's so sticky. It's very efficient at its job. You could even do it on the floor if you wanted to. On a carpet, put your funky socks back on. Alright, come to goddess, wherever you are. Keep the heels lifted. Sink down deep into the legs. Divine. I love that this shape is called goddess because I'm like, it cooks you. It has fire. Us women are fierce. We are goddesses. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Let's swivel the feet so that left heel lowers and you're lunging into the right knee. Again, either stay here or you can have the feet parallel, whatever feels better. Lunge, like a side lunge into that right knee. Body parallel with the ground. Try not to do this kind of like bum sticky uppy thing. Draw the rib cage in, arms aeroplaning out to the sides. So this is a bit of a core exercise. Weight is pressing slightly back, but grip the ground with your toes at the same time. Hold in here. One more breath in. And then exhale. Slide that left hand towards the top of the mat, plant it down. Pivot on the balls of the feet so you're facing the back of the mat. Step that right foot into the center. Outside edge of the left foot is in contact. Reach right arm overhead. Press the ground away with the left hand. Breathe in. Arc the body. Exhale, sink. Left hip down to the ground. Reach right hand towards the back of the mat. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale as you lower. Lift up. And lower down. Inhale as you lift. Pivot so that the feet step into that pyramid pose. Left foot is wider than the right foot. Left toe slightly turn out. Slightly bend the right knee. Ripple up to stand. Either take hold of each elbow, take it in the opposite way, or bring your hands into that reverse prayer. Lengthen the spine, breathe in. Press left hip forward, pull right hip back as you exhale and fold over the right leg. Maybe you look towards the right toes. Press the palms of the hands together if you have this reverse prayer. Keep your architecture in your upper body. Lean your weight into that right leg. Lift, left leg, like a warrior 3. Continue to rise up to stand, drawing your left knee in towards your chest, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Extend that left foot out in front of you, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that left foot down, take a moment. Again, blocks for your pistol squat if you need to. Remember that you can lunge back into the right knee, use the hands on the blocks, flex the left foot to the face. You can find this variation. You can have blocks and right heel lifted, this variation. Whatever serves you in this moment in your practice, own your practice, it's yours. Okay, together, if you're doing the full pistol squat, follow me. If you're doing the variations, take your time. We'll meet again with the left leg and extend it out in front of us. So full pistol squat, extend the left leg. Bend into the right knee. I like to reach my arms forwards. Press back up, with joy. We'll wait here just for a moment for everyone else to catch up. And then together start to take your left leg out to the left, dial in the left toes down towards the ground. Keep on circling it back. Taking a brief moment in warrior 3. Lunge into the right leg. Plant the ball of the left toes down. Step the right foot back. downward facing dog. Let's just move through one vinyasa. So roll forwards to plank pose, inhale. Exhale, come down onto the belly or take chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, knees down, child's pose. And just take a moment there in your child's pose. Giving yourself permission to really melt down towards the ground. Feel the breath in the back of the body. And then slowly rise up. We're going to do that flow once more, but a little bit quicker this time. Think more of a one breath, one movement, vinyasa. I will demonstrate it all. Take your time. If you want to repeat it on the video, you can do. So, down dog. Blocks are at the back if you're using them for the pistol squat or anything else. Breathe in, right leg lifts. Bend the knee, exhale, take it through the midline, step it to the top of the mat, runner's lunge. Breath in, left knee in towards the chest. Just this once, exhale, take it to the back. Rise up into your warrior two, lunging deep into the right knee. Lift the heels. Pivot on the balls of the feet through goddess. Slightly lunging into the left knee, right leg extends. Torso parallel to the ground, arms aeroplane, take a breath in. Stay for the breath out. Right hand comes to the back of the mat, pivot on the balls of the feet, step the left foot into the center, reach left arm overhead, breathe in, Cleopatra, exhale, sink right hip down to the ground. Inhale, lift, pivot, left toes face forwards, right foot slightly out, roll all the way up to standing. Pyramid pose, breathe in, lengthen. Exhale as you slowly fold over that left leg. Find neutral in the pelvis. Start to look forwards, lean the weight into the left leg, right toes rise, right leg floats, warrior three. Draw the right knee in towards the chest as you come to stand and reach the arms up. Extend the right leg forwards, pistol squat option, sink down into the left leg. Lift back up on the breath in. Take that right leg out, circling it all the way back. Right toes down to the ground. Find that warrior three. Fingertips down, ball of the right foot down. Straight away, right knee in towards the chest. Squeeze, breathe in. Exhale, extend the right leg back. Right heel down, circle open, warrior two. Lift the balls of the feet. Pivot so you're lunging into right knee and left leg extends. Send the torso forwards. Back is as flat as a table. Arms aeroplane. Breathing in. Exhale as you send that left hand towards the top of the mat now. Slowly take that 180. Cleopatra, right foot steps into the center of the mat. Right arm reaches overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, sink the left hip to the ground. Inhale, slowly look towards the top of the mat, step the right toes to face forward, left foot steps wider, left toes out, rolling up to pyramid in the legs, reverse prayer, whatever flavor you've taken, take a breath in, exhale, warrior three, lunge forwards, lifting the left leg, and then draw the left knee in towards the chest, reach your arms up. Extend the left leg out in front of you, take a breath in. Pistol squat for your life. Rise on up. Circle that left leg around. Find that moment of a warrior three. And then fingertips down, ball of the left foot down, step back, downward dog, one vinyasa, forward, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, stay strong. Upward dog, breathe in, thighs hover. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Joy. Bringing your right foot forwards. turn both sets of toes to face the left hand side of the mat. So we're in our wide-legged shape. And then let's just take a moment here, have the toes slightly in to just wiggle and give the back of the legs a little bit of a stretch. Sort of play with whatever you want to play with, find any variations of our pressarita shape. I really enjoy clasping the hands and letting the interlace of my fingers come down towards the ground. If you want to, you can maybe scoop, stretch out the back of the neck. If you want to take it upside down, you're more than welcome. And then lift up halfway, hands down. Slightly externally rotate your left foot. We're going to turn the right toes to face up towards the sky and come down into our half squat or our skandasana. Left heel can be lifted. You can use a block if you want, or it can be lowered. Hands wherever you want to have them. Keep flexing the right toes towards the face, and then we're going to stay super low and transition to the opposite side. So working again a little bit more into the hips. And keep doing this a few times. Please bring your fingertips down and trace the ground if you need to. It doesn't make you a better person to be able to do this without your hands. It just means that your hips are maybe slightly more open. Last one to the left. And then taking it to the right. This time bring your bum down to the ground. So the position that you're in is your left toes are flexed up towards the sky, your left leg is lengthened, your right foot is grounded. My right toes are slightly angled off. They're not going straight in front of me, they're slightly off. From here, a couple of options. We're going to take a big side stretch, diving the right arm overhead towards the left toes. Maybe you want to press that right thigh away from you with your right hand. Maybe you want to catch around the right ankle. And the intention here is to spin the chest open towards the sky. And don't worry if you're here and you're kind of like hanging out here, you can use this left forearm to help you press the ground away to find this side body, this opening and the rotation and the side body lengthening. Take another breath in. And then exhale. Begin to unravel. Lift the bum, shift the weight forwards, shift over to the left, bring the bum down, and then same thing again. Find whatever variation you did on the opposite side. So our chest stays open. Our left side body lengthens. Maybe you catch left ankle, or maybe you press that left leg away. Maybe you catch the right foot. Don't worry if you don't. We all look and feel different in all of these shapes. Let your head be heavy, so relax your neck. I have such a tendency to tense my neck, so I have to really remember to let it go. And then slowly unravel, lifting back up. Ooh. Bring your bum into the center of your mat and open your legs so you're in a wide-legged position. Last bit of hard work, working with the hip flexors before we really wind it down now. And so we're going to attempt to lift each leg individually and then lift them both at the same time, because a lot of us, even if you've got a good back bend and you know that you have a lot of length in the front of your thighs and in your hip flexors, like your rectus femoris, we tend to have quite weak hip flexors. So if you cramp doing this, if you cramped during a pistol squat, absolutely normal, like totally normal. This might feel like a lot for you. So you're going to turn your torso to face over your left leg. I don't like to go as wide as I can at the moment in this shape. So press the hands down, lengthen your arms, So don't bend the arms, really press the ground away and lengthen the arms. Now engage the front of your left thigh by flexing the left foot towards your face. Now slowly, without rocking too far back, if you need to sit on a block for this, sit on a block, you're going to lift that left leg and lower. Lift, lower for 3, 2, 1. Relax, give it a shake. Whew, it's intense. Turn to face the right leg. Engage the front of the right leg. If you flex your foot towards your face, it will engage the front of your leg. This is what we want. Imagine that you're trying to almost suction your right thigh bone into its socket. Press the ground away. Keep your arms long. Lift, lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, I really feel that one. Give them a shake. Now this time we're going to attempt to lift both legs. If that is not happening for you at all, do 5 more on each leg individually. So hands are going to go down in front of you. Don't worry if they don't, even if your legs come like that much off the ground, it doesn't matter. Like, don't be attached to the height and the depth of things. Like, it's totally irrelevant. What matters is, you know, the quality of your practice, how much you're putting into it. So hands down. Again, try to lock your arms, try to straighten everything. Engage the front of the legs. Draw the core in, lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Swap legs if you've swapped legs. We're going to do another 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take a moment. Doing something that kind of feels intuitive and lengthening the hip flexors. I like to sort of internally rotate the leg and stretch back and away. And then let's bring ourselves into our deer pose now. This should helpfully give your hips a little bit of love, a little bit of stretching now after all of the hard work. So set up almost like a 90-90 shape in the legs. Right shin is parallel to the front of the mat, left shin parallel to the long edge of the mat. Turn to face your right thigh and then start to fold over that right leg. Just letting yourself be here for a few breaths. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And start to release any effort now. Unwind. Soften your jaw, soften your shoulders. What lessons have you learned even just in this practice, in these moments? Did you surprise yourself? Did you find yourself sort of reprimanding yourself unnecessarily? Did you notice that you arrived on the mat with certain expectations? Maybe they weren't met, maybe you exceeded them, and was it even good to do that, you know? Is it good to have expectations before beginning a practice that's all about internal work? I'm not quite sure it is. And then slowly rise up. Let's just take it to the opposite side. So let the left knee up, come up, right knee comes to down. So you got the back of your mat now. Melt down over that left shin, coming into your deer pose on the opposite side. The eyes closed. You know, and if you do have a preference for pigeon pose, you are more than welcome to insert pigeon pose into this practice after we finish this deer pose. I don't do that shape too often anymore. I just don't really like how it feels on the front hip. But that's okay, you know, if you still enjoy it, you can go for it. And slowly lift back up. Let's turn to face the front of the mat. And you might not even have a clue what the front of it is anymore, so turn to face one side. And come to roll down onto your back. And we're going to take one round of plough pose, so lift your legs up towards the sky, then take them overhead. And you can maybe allow your arms to reach towards the toes. If you want to, keep supporting your spine, especially if your feet are hovering off the ground, support the spine. Maybe you interlace your fingers and extend them back. Maybe you tuck toes. If you want to, you can bend your knees. Just be here in whatever variation of this shape suits you. You know, yoga is all about participating in life itself. It's about getting to know yourself. It's about participating in the present moment. It's about feeling and sensing the interconnection, the web of life that runs through you and that runs through the other people around you. Take a breath in. Exhale slowly, re-support the spine. And then roll out of your shape. Taking a final moment, maybe hugging the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze if there's any twists, anything that you want to take, maybe a gentle windmill of the hips. Feel free to do so. And then once your body invites you to go there, take that final shavasana. And let yourself breathe, let yourself be heavy. Participate in this restful state that shavasana opens you up to. The potential of this pose is to truly start to cool and calm you down, bring you into more of a parasympathetic state in your nervous system, bringing you into that rest and digest, that state of ease, that state of softness. And give your body one final scan for any last areas of prolonging tension. Mindfully just tell everything to relax, release, let the contractions go. Even the heart, soften in the heart. And let yourself rest in this shape for at least another 10 minutes or so. Really melting down into the air. And I'll leave you there, so thank you for joining in the practice today. Feel free to chat to me if you need anything. And have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. And sending you loads of love.